Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Russ Riesinger. Janelle has the night off. A cold case that has haunted our area for over 2 decades is finally closed tonight. The brutal murder of a young Laurel woman. In November of 1998, 18-year-old Miranda Fenner was found dead inside the movie store on Main Street in Laurel. Her feet had been bound, her throat slit. Her murder remaining a mystery until an announcement today that the crime had finally, after nearly 21 years, been solved. Late this afternoon, Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder holding a news conference to announce that 39-year-old Zachary O'Neill has pleaded guilty to the murder of Fenner.
At 3 o'clock this afternoon, County Attorney's Office, we're in an arraignment in District Court and had an arraignment with 39-year-old Zachary David O'Neill, who pled guilty to the crime of murder.
We might have put the icing on this, but the truth of the matter is this is a culmination of 20 years of law enforcement work and everyone working very, very hard on it. From different agencies, different states, different organizations. I mean, everyone really, really did their best.
Well, earlier this year, Zachary O'Neill was charged with the 1998 rape and attempted homicide of a newspaper carrier on Billings West Side that happened a couple of months before Fenner was killed. Authorities say he first came on their radar back in 2000. Charging documents show his stepmother tipped off police in 2013 that he might be a suspect and that he walked into the detention center here in Billings and confessed to killing Fenner in 2017, then confessed again a couple of months later while being held on burglary charges in Washington. Now, according to charging documents, O'Neill said the motive in the Fenner case was robbery for drug money and that he decided to kill the woman because he did not want any witnesses. Well, Miranda Fenner's murder sent a wave of fear through Laurel and the surrounding community. And as the years went by, many began to wonder if that crime would ever be solved. Q2's Andrea Lutz went back out to Laurel to see how the town is healing upon hearing today's news.
Well, for decades, the community of Laurel was somewhat plagued with not knowing what happened to Miranda Fenner. But Tuesday's guilty plea is giving community members that conclusion they needed.
At the corner of Main and 5th, Miranda Fenner lost her life. Back then, this was a movie store where she worked. Today, it's a salon.
It'll probably be talked about for a lot longer than most things are talked about these days.
The salon's still abuzz over word that this cold case is now closed. But even at a place where the unthinkable happened, those in Laurel haven't forgotten.
It's just more shocked that something like that actually has gotten closed.
At Dynamic Designs in Laurel, the reward poster with Miranda's face still hangs on the wall.
The fact that it's an everyday memory.
Matthew Smarsh says from the time he was a kid, her image was everywhere in town.
The poster has been in every shop here in local Laurel for as long as I can remember.
As the investigation comes to a close, for those in Laurel, closure too. Something Laurel Police Chief Stan Langvey spoke about at Tuesday's press conference when it was announced 39-year-old Zachary O'Neill admitted to the gruesome death.
Being a Laurel boy and growing up there, this occurred a little over a year before I got hired with Laurel PD. And it's been that proverbial dark cloud that you're always fighting against.
Yeah, it's definitely a sense of closure, I would say.
Smarsh believes the chatter over the case likely won't end anytime soon.
It'll be talked about for probably a long time just because it has been around for so long. I mean, it's been a cold case for 21 years.
For many in Laurel, it's possible it will take some more time to comprehend. In Laurel, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Andrea. And at today's news conference, a statement from the Fenner family was read from cold case coordinator Monty Wallace, thanking everyone for their love and support.
We're relieved that there is an end in sight for the nightmare that's caused so much heartache and pain to everyone who knew and loved Miranda. Unfortunately, nothing will bring Miranda back, and we can only pray that other families may be spared the grief that this type of crime inflicts.
Along with killing Fenner, Zachary O'Neill also confessed to the rape and attempted homicide of the newspaper carrier on Billings West End and to raping a woman in Riverfront Park. That was also in 1998. O'Neill will be sentenced on August 23rd. State of Montana removed more than 24 children from a controversial Lincoln County youth ranch following an investigation claiming they're victims of egregious physical and psychological abuse. The Ranch for Kids has been a lightning rod for disputes over procedures and licensing for several years. Critics of the program in Rexford made several attempts to enforce licensing requirements on the ranch as part of the broader debate over the state's ability to dictate conditions at programs with religious affiliations. Now, the legislature finally approved a bill extending control over the programs, which took effect on July 1st. Now, a Lincoln County District Court judge signed an order removing 27 children ages 11 to 17 and placing them in state custody without incident. The state says the children are receiving medical care, but their conditions are confidential. Among other offenses, DPHHS says the children were being physically hit, kicked, body slammed, and spit on by staff. All right, turning to weather, Bob, it's only going to get hotter out there, and that makes our risk of thunderstorms even higher.
Yeah, you know, they say in the broadcasting you always want to lead with your best video. We got some tonight. Take a look at this video. Look at the lightning. This is that storm moving in from Carbon County. This was a severe thunderstorm earlier today over there by Red Lodge. It had quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And, of course, as you can see, this storm continues to push its way just past the Billings area. Let's take a look at it on the Doppler radar. You can see it right here. As what's happening is it did that split again, half to the south, half to the north. But now it's just big enough that it is picking up some scattered rain showers in the Billings area. But it's all part of a much larger line of showers and thunderstorms. That's actually going all the way from basically Billings all the way up to the Havre area. So it's going to be interesting. Now, we do have this thing here for tomorrow, a fire weather watch for most of northern Montana because of high winds and low humidity. Should a fire get going, it'll burn out of control rapidly and cause all sorts of erratic winds and fire danger. We'll have more in your forecast in a few more minutes. Russ?
All right, thank you, Bob. A bear on Norm's Island Park in Billings gives a man walking his dog quite the surprise. Part of last night's encounter was caught on camera. Q2's Mitch Legge caught up with the man who took that video.
It was here at Norm's Island Park where Dustin Ogden and his dog Otis were out for your average evening stroll. They were actually just about to turn around because the mosquitoes were so thick, but they decided to keep on going. But what they found around the corner was a surprise of a lifetime.
And as I rounded a bend in the trail, I heard some commotion immediately to my right and looked up and saw a black bear. I absolutely never expected to see a bear in the middle of the city, in the middle of Billings.
The bear scrambled up a tree and eventually came down to the ground, where Ogden was able to take this video.
Guys, there's a black... If you see the video, I'm not nearly as close as the video as it may look in that video because I zoomed in as far as I could.
Luckily, the bear didn't take much interest in Ogden's dog, Otis.
While I remembered my bear training, my dog has not been through bear training and unfortunately was standing under the tree, somewhat mesmerized by the bear that was only, 6 or 7 feet above it.
Ogden says the startling encounter won't deter him from visiting the outdoors in the future.
This experience was a reminder that the more time you spend outside in nature, the more likely you are to have amazing experiences that you would never expect. So even in the middle of a city park.
From Norm's Island Park in Billings, Mitch Legge, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mitch. And according to Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks, bear sightings are not uncommon in the Billings area due to the abundance of attractants. Tour season is in full swing at Yellowstone National Park, and that means more wildlife and people crossing paths. Unfortunately, one of those encounters led to a 9-year-old girl being injured after being thrown in the air by a bison yesterday. News release from Yellowstone National Park says the incident happened near Old Faithful. A group of about 50 people surrounded a bull bison standing about 5 to 10 feet away. After about 20 minutes, the bison charged the group, hitting the girl, as you see right there, and tossing her in the air. She was treated on scene, then transported and later released from a nearby clinic. Now, park officials remind visitors that you should keep at least 25 yards between yourself and large animals and up to a football field's distance from wolves and bears. Well, the Gallatin County Board of Commissioners has given the green light for adding $2 more to your hotel bill per night. Now, $2 more a night doesn't sound like much, but those dollars do add up quickly. MTN's Cody Boyer explains how.
Just a line item on your hotel bill.
In Gallatin County, there are a lot of hotels. That means even more people are staying at them. The Gallatin Valley Business Improvement District, which previously called Bozeman its home, expanded county-wide for this reason. By adding $2 to the nightly bill across just 3 different cities, the money adds up.
It's about $1.2 million from the city of Bozeman, about $30,000 from the hotels, motels in Belgrade, and about $13,000 from the hotels and motels in Three Forks. So it's a sizable chunk of change.
Commissioner Don Seifert says that's 30 Bozeman hotels, 4 Belgrade hotels, and 2 in Three Forks.
It's every hotel that's got more than 10 beds.
Now, many of us know this, but tourism is a big backbone here to the economy of Gallatin County. So with $2 more coming from hotels across the area, this could add a little bit more perspective.
A report taken recently by the University of Montana's Institute on Tourism and Recreation Research drives this home. Just last year in Gallatin County alone, visitors shelled out over $800 million, spending more money than any other place in Montana. That's up about $155 million more from 2017.
It is constantly going up, and as we add more motels, more hotels, we're generating more and more.
As for what that $2 can do within the district, it can help promote sports tournaments and attracting new airlines. And with more than $1 million dedicated to just that, Seifert says keeping that local will make a big difference.
This type of program has been used throughout the state and throughout the nation very successfully, and I'm just glad that Gallatin County can help participate in it.
In Gallatin County, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
One final piece of the puzzle still has to be determined. That's getting a new board of directors in place. Still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news, President Trump's order against abortion providers has one group cheering and the other crying foul. We're going to hear from both. Plus, one woman is making sure her father's legacy is on the top of everyone's mind and heads. And in sports, Q2's Athlete of the Week is the only player to break par in a Montana Women's State Am. Scott will have more on that when we come back.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.